Ready when you are.
Evening, call to order the Town of St. John Plan Commission meeting for October 15th, 2025. I would invite all that are able to stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Abernathy, can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Present?
Colin Enchway,
Present.
Joe Gomestagel is currently absent, Rudy Bambick is absent, Russ Vogel,
Present.
John Gill is absent, Ashley Abernathy present, John Dystra,
Here.
Bill Manasopoulos,
Present.
and Adam Decker.
Present.
Joe just walked in.
For record purposes, Joe Gomestagel walked in at 7:01.
All right. Agenda item number 4, item A, approval of the September 3rd, 2025 study session minutes. I assume everybody's had the chance to review them. Any questions, comments? If not, the chair would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve September 3rd, 2025 study session.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Ms. Abernathy. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Because
Aye.
we do have
Aye.
one attending virtually, I do have to do
Still gotta do
roll
that.
call.
Okay. Everything has to be by roll call vote. So can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Colin Enchway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestagel,
Aye.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
Minutes for September 3rd are approved. Item B, September 17th, 2025, public meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve September 17th, 2025 public meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Mr. Gomestagel. Can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Colin Enchway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestagel,
Aye.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
Minutes are approved. Item C, the October 1st, 2025 study session.
I'll make a motion to approve October 1st, 2025 study session.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Ms. Abernathy. Roll call, please.
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Colin Enchway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestagel,
Aye.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
All right, all the meeting minutes are approved. Agenda item number 5, we have 2 public hearings tonight. First is 5A, it's 2025-18, Gates of St. John, Unit 7A, Lot 888.
Joe.
Mr. Kill, good evening.
Yes, this was previously presented at a study session. I do have some copies of the paper copies if anybody would like them, so it's kind of up to everybody there. So this is a lot that's obviously been sitting there for 15 years or better. So what we're doing is we are proposing that we split this into 2 lots, and those lots, one of them is 115 by 150. The other one is 96, basically 95, 96 by 150. These lots meet the requirements of everything around them, and they match up with all the other lots that are on 105th. And what will be constructed will be 2 custom homes as have been built in that area there. Right now, the ones that are under construction, that the builder that's building them, they're currently for sale for $1.2 million. They're going to be similar to that.
Are they similar to the ones that are directly to the east
They're
of Golden Arch there?
They are. They're all very, yes, they're that type of home, yes. The custom home, yes.
All right, questions, comments?
Nope.
I do have, before we get to the public hearing process, we do have a engineering review letter from Adam McAlpine stating that he has reviewed the proposed project and it is in conformance with current Town of St. John standards. And he recommends approval.
No utility issues or anything like that? It's all,
No, they're
all right
already
there.
installed.
It's been fully, well, you know, just you're out there, they've been fully developed for over a decade.
I passed the sign on my way here today, so. All right, with that, we do need to open the public hearing, so you can go ahead and take a seat, Mr. Kill. With that, I would invite any members of the public who would like to come up, speak for or against this proposed re-subdivision. Just need your name and address for the record.
Doug Blocker, 10591 Juniper Lane, St. John. I also live within the Orchard Gates subdivision, which is within the gates of St. John development. First, I'd like to say that I'm not sure as to whether or not you guys could actually proceed with this subdivision without amending the PUD for the gates of St. John. The gates of St. John basically was developed with a number of different pods and so forth. Within those pods were specific criteria as far as what would be built there, number of lots and so forth. And this particular pond was for a single family and showed a specific number of lots. When you subdivide that, you add one more lot, therefore would increase the number of lots for that pod and be therefore, in my opinion, in violation of the PUD. Second, the developer has indicated that he's had a hard time selling because the unit would face the other street, not 105th Street. Easy solution to that is change the address for 105th Street address without going through subdivision procedure. Now, the developer's also looking at it saying, hey, I could build one lot, $1 million house, make $200,000 on it. But if I had two lots, I could build $2 million homes and make $400,000. So I guess that's what he's looking at. I think you guys need to look at the planning part of this too, though. I mean, there's several things. One is you have a roundabout there. It's not a normal street with a stop sign and so forth. It's a roundabout where cars are constantly going around without stopping, or sometimes without even slowing down. So you're gonna have a house, I think it shows, I don't know if it's a 25 or 30-foot setback off of that roundabout. So you're gonna have a house right there. Second, you look at all the houses to the north. They all face the side street. They all have backyards. The backyards are probably, I'm gonna say, 100 feet from the right-of-way, Park Place right-of-way, all the way to the rear of their homes. It's a large open space. Putting a house right here, in my opinion, is going to destroy that open space feel. You have the house that's on the northwest corner of the cul-de-sac. That house, again, faces to the west. The backyards butt up against Park Place and this cul-de-sac and the roundabout. And the same thing on the southwest corner.
Mm-hmm.
The house, again, faces west, backyards face up. The only thing, one would be the southeast corner, where that house sits, again, probably maybe 25 or 30-foot setback, okay? But that's where the third part of the planning process comes into. 105th Street in this area is a boulevard. You have a center island going down the middle of it, so you have reduced streets. That corner house always has at least 1, 2, 3 cars parked in front of the house. I'm surprised that those cars haven't been hit yet by some of the cars that fly around that roundabout and make that turn. You're going to cause the same situation on the other side because the street is narrow. There's got cars parked there. You're going to start affecting the roundabout in that area. From a homeowner standpoint of view, the concerns that people in the gates will have, I have, is that Mr. Lawton manages our HOA. He manages the HOA for the gates of St. John, and he manages the HOA for several of the subdivisions within that, which is, one is Orchard Gates. According to state law, HOA is supposed to have an annual meeting once a year. Mr. Lawton, why have a meeting? December, we get our budget for the next year. We have no say in what's put in it. He decides. Last 3 years, it's gone up 10% and so forth. Our subdivision and the subdivision next door, Sterling Gates, has requested Mr. Lawton to turn the HOA for our subdivisions over to us. He says no. Per the covenants for the gates, one of three things would have to happen in order to go, for those to be turned over. One would be he has to agree to turn over the HOA, which he hasn't. The second would be is he's required to turn over the HOA 20 years after the latest subdivision. So if you guys approve this subdivision, you've now extended another 20 years for him to maintain it. The third one would be is if 100% of the lots are sold. Again, you have adding another lot. That means another lot has to be sold with the few that are left before he would turn it over. So from my point of view, as a Gates homeowner, I ask that you deny his request. And, I mean, I would even look at, I mean, I'm sure you guys would think that, okay, if you're going to put a house there, okay, how are you going to landscape this thing? I mean, I haven't seen a landscape plan. You look at that house on the southeast corner, okay, that thing is so landscaped, I mean, you can't even see his backyard. What's he going to do? Of course, it's Mr. Lawton. I don't think he submitted a landscape plan yet for any of his developments, so I wouldn't expect one here, but I'd be asking for how you tend to screen that backyard in from the main boulevard through the gates. So again, I ask you guys to deny his request for a subdivision. Change the address to 105th Street address if that's what he wants.
Thank you. All right, anyone else who'd like to come up and speak? Second call for any public comment. Third and final call, and with that, public comment on 2025-18 is now closed. Mr. Kill, if you'd like to come back up. I would just ask Mr. Decker to address one of the concerns that Mr. Blacker had about the legality of whether the PUD needs to be amended or whether the re-subdivision request is proper within code and town ordinance.
Mr. Chair, so our zoning ordinance has a chapter for planned unit developments. And that chapter provides essentially that if there are major changes that are going to be made to the development plan for a PUD, that those changes shall be submitted to the Plan Commission and approved following a public hearing. The ordinance defines major changes to be one or more of the following. Reduction of parking spaces, reduction in the amount of open space, reduction in the amount of landscaping, relocation of an access drive or detention facility, an increase in the height, floor area, impervious surface, or number of dwelling units, or modification to the mix of uses. So the ordinance provides that any proposed change or addition to an approved PUD development is first submitted to the town manager, who may approve minor changes to the plan, provided that the town manager makes written findings that the revised plan complies with the PUD standards of the ordinance and complies with all conditions imposed on the PUD. A minor change involves items such as shift in the location of a handicap parking space or dumpster, a realignment of parking spaces or aisles, or a change in building materials. And so those are the examples that are provided for a minor change in the PUD. In this case, I don't have an opinion about whether or not the application seeking to essentially create two lots where one previously existed is a major change or a minor change. I think that would be subject to some interpretation, further interpretation. But I think at this point, ultimately, I know in past practices, when there have been changes to the PUD, initially that's presented to the town manager, and in some cases that, as the ordinance allows, to the town manager to approve a minor change. If the town manager finds that it's perhaps more appropriately identified as a major change, then it would be referred to the Plan Commission for approval and As I indicated earlier, if that's the determination that this constitutes a major change, then it would require a public hearing before the Plan Commission to approve that change.
But this,
Mr. President? Ashley, can you hear me?
You're a little faint.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have a bad connection. Justin, if whatever motion you'd make, I am still in review of it because I read the same thing. So if you want to make a motion pending my review, and I will submit that to the, if it is something that you guys would move along with pending the review, that I'll submit to the Plan Commission.
well, if I'm hearing Mr. Decker correctly, if it was a minor change, then it would be within the town manager's purview after review of it. I think it's, because we're here noticed on a public hearing, if we determine, even if it was a major change, the proper stop is to come here, open public hearing, and then, Mr. Decker, correct me if I'm wrong, we still have the legal authority to grant the subdivision request, re-subdivision request, if it was a major, deemed a major change under the ordinance.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
I think that's a fair statement, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, an accurate statement.
So if we're going to act on this, we don't necessarily need the town manager's review. His would only be if it was considered a minor change.
But to be on the same.
Right, and I would submit that the Plan Commission, ultimately can make that determination, whether this considers, if this is considered a major change or a minor change. I think, as I indicated, the ordinance provides that that's first provided to the town manager, who can approve minor changes if the town manager makes that conclusion. But if the town manager does not make that determination, I think ultimately the Plan Commission would have final say whether any proposed application is considered a major or a minor change to the PUD.
Well, can we, Mr. Chairman, can we actually wait until the review to be on the safe side from the town manager? Whether it's major or minor,
But if it's
be
minor,
on the safe side.
if it's minor, the town manager can sign off on it, and we didn't need the public hearing and everything. So because we're here and we're noticed and we've opened it for public hearing, I think it's appropriate for us to, if I'm hearing council correct, we can make a decision on this right now. We don't necessarily have to have, unless we want to defer it, and then, but if the town manager determines it's minor and someone wants to step in and seek legal recourse because it wasn't considered a minor change, versus if it's deemed major, we can act on it right
So,
now.
Mr.
No,
President,
If I could for a second, we're not changing any of the roads. They've been in forever. There's no utilities being changed. We're not asking for any changes to the PUD. What landscape requirements are there? These homes are going to be beautifully landscaped like every other home around them. There's no reason to assume they're not. They're all custom homes. I'm not sure that line of questioning. So whether it's a minor change, which it is a minor change because there's no deviation to the layout of the subdivision or any of that, I would still want to come in front of the Plan Commission and do the subdivision. That subdivision process requires that I come in front of the Plan Commission because I'm splitting lots. So regardless if it's a minor or major or whatever it is, I would still end up back here in front of a public hearing to do a minor, this is called a minor subdivision. But it does adhere to the requirements of the subdivision, the PUD. So I would submit to you that it's minor in nature because nothing's being changed. We're still going to adhere to the same PUD requirements, the same housing requirements, the same landscape requirements that every neighbor had to adhere to. So, but I would still want to come in front of the Plan Commission, and Ashley would still make me come here because I'm splitting a lot. So no matter what happened, Joe, I would be here in front of you. And the town manager can't determine that,
I'm
yeah.
questioning the fact that our town manager can review it, okay? That's all. And then after that, we could view everything else.
Yeah, I submitted this in August for everybody's review, for Ashley, for Billy. So this has been, they've had this since August.
and when it was received, it was looked at other units in Unit 7, and in general, Unit 7 as a whole, as well as Unit 7A. And in Unit 7A itself, there have already been a couple of re-subdivisions that have eliminated a couple of lots. So over the course of the year, there have been some individuals who have purchased up a couple lots and then regrouped them together because they wanted that bigger lot at the time, but they just didn't want this particular lot. And so even if this subdivision is approved in accordance with the findings of fact as set out by state statute, and you guys do have your updated findings of facts in front of you tonight, it would not be an additional amount of units because at this point in time, Unit 7A has undergone a few plats of re-subdivision where other lots have already been combined in the 15 years since this unit has been in effect. And then just for clarification for the board, the town itself does not have any control over HOA or what is written in the HOA covenants, regulation, rules, and restrictions. However, even if this one were approved, there are still 9 or 10 other units of the gates that are still under primary plat that are still awaiting final plat. So even if this minor 2-lot subdivision were approved, it would not have that major impact on the covenants as Mr. Blocker was talking about. So that's just for the board to understand, is that we have no control over that HOA. It is entirely a third-party entity.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
No, like I said, these will adhere to the same requirements as everybody else in that unit there, and the same landscaping. So to answer Adam's question, they're going to adhere to every requirement of the PUD. The lots are bigger than the actual lots behind it. So it meets all the requirements.
All right, with that, the chair would entertain a motion to grant the re-subdivision of Lot 888. Any motion should reference the findings of fact.
I'll make a motion to approve Lot 888 with the findings of facts.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, is there a second?
Do we need to do anything styling this for Bill's review?
So Colin, the only last part, and I was out last week, was the part that Ashley just covered. That was one of the last pieces that I needed, the elimination of the other lots, which then again puts us still under that number. So I don't think you need that now. I will put it out in writing, but Ashley answered the last part of the question that I needed.
Okay, I will second that motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Mr. Emschway. Can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Colin Enschway,
Aye.
Joe Gomez-Daigle,
No.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Aronofsky, aye.
My math is off because people aren't here, so that's
4-1.
4-1. Just so we're clear. All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Kill. Item 5B, 2025-19 Lenting, request for rezone from R2 to C2. Mr. Reddick, good evening.
Good evening, Doug Reddick with DVG. The owner of the property that we're petitioning tonight is Dale Lenting. He is here as well, if you have specific questions for him. But his property lies on the north side of 231, just east of Schneider Street. A lot of people know it as it's where the little farm stand is, where we like to buy corn on the cob and things like that. It's also got a large pond on the property. Dale's owned the property for some time. His residence sits at the far north end of the property. But the property that fronts along 231, he's seeking to rezone from R2 to C2. It does lie within the Route 231 overlay district, which has its own set of rules and regulations besides the zoning district regulations. So at this time, he just wants to rezone the property. It does kind of help clean up the farm stand, which is kind of a temporary use. He does own a business. He thinks he might build a building there someday, a commercial building. He has no plans to do that at this time. He simply wants to seek to rezone at this time for future possible development.
What does he want to do?
Okay.
Half it.
Ms. Abernathy, from the town's perspective?
Mr. Reddick is correct. This does fall within the Route 231 overlay district, which by the overlay district legal description goes 600 feet north and south of US 231. Additionally, what Mr. Reddick did not mention is that it also would fall within the US 41 overlay district, which runs from the railroad tracks on the eastern side of US 41 to the residential properties on the western side of US 41. So this parcel does fall within both of our overlay districts, which do have very specific criteria on what is allowable use, architectural standards, requirements, stuff like that. So Mr. Reddick is correct in his statement that our zoning ordinance has called for this to be in 2 different commercial overlay districts. And the way the ordinance says is that the stricter regulations do apply. So on this one, both the 41 and Route 231 regulations are pretty strict in what the requirements are.
Okay. Mr. Dykstra, did you review this one?
No.
No.
No, we don't review
Okay.
rezones.
All right. Questions, comments from the panel?
So this is only for the farm stand, basically, as of right now.
That and the pond, right?
Yeah, so it's about 5 acres, but over half of it is the pond, so.
Was that pond refill, I mean, that was an open area with, I mean, the pond was bigger than that, right? At one time?
At one time.
Oh, okay.
It's a man-made pond.
I say it's not a wetland or anything.
It's not a wetland. If you remember, it had like an island in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's reworked it a little bit, but again, he's been through it's not a wetland, so it's in his property to do what he wants to do with it. It's not even a detention pond. It's just a pond.
So this kind of more or less, it just to kind of give you an aerial versus kind of how the
Yep.
graphic is more or less what would be rezoned. Is that orange line all the way down to US 231. And that's 477 feet north of 231.
You want to make this part of commercial?
Questions, comments, anyone? Not? Okay. Mr. Reddick, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing for 2025-19 Lenting. Again, any members of the public who'd like to come up and speak for or against this proposed rezone, you're welcome to do so. Just need your name and address.
My name's Tim Neary. I'm at 11025 West 108th Avenue, St. John. I do have a petition. It's signed by everybody in the neighborhood but one family. They weren't there. They told me they do not want this. They would have been more than happy to sign it.
Thank you, sir.
I have a 12-inch running through there.
Okay, our subdivision is a small subdivision. There's only 18 or 20 people maybe living in the subdivision. We thought about this once before. Okay, the last meeting, they came up and they said, who gave you permission to put all that dirt in there? And who did the study on it to say you could do that? Okay? They said, from this point on, you cannot do anything with that property until that has been established. And I don't think he's had it established. Okay? You want to put a commercial property there, they're boxing the subdivision in, basically. I mean, the people now, we can't look to the west because we're looking at the top of Cohen's Animal Clinic, gas station, an empty bank. So people look to the east, he wants to put commercial property there. So what do we have to look forward to? There's nothing there to look forward to. And as far as that farm stand is, there's accidents ready to happen all the time there. The road's not big enough for anything there. When you try to pull in, you can't pull in because people try to pull out. They can't, the cars are there's not enough room. There should be, if it's going to be done, that should be widened. There should be curbs put in, maybe a sidewalk. But they want a turning lane in there. But again, that's going to create more hazards because people will jump in that turning lane sooner to get down to 41. What's happening now is at that farm stand, they get their stuff, they see that there's traffic on 231, they zoom through the neighborhood and then shoot out near Cohen to get out on 41. So the one family, they have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. They can't let them ride the bikes out there because there's people driving. Poor Everett about got hit a couple times. He about hit him with the golf cart one time. He's too busy holding on, looking to see what's happening on the back of his golf cart, not paying attention on the road. And if he says no, I got cameras up sight on the house, shows every time he drives past. So, you know, it could be proven. But we don't need it. I mean, it's, most everybody that has lived there is, the average is 45 years. Some of us have been there longer. My mom's had property there for 68 years. Now he wants to come in. He never asked us, hey, this is my plan. What do you guys think? And he never asked us. He just went ahead and did it. Now, according to everybody in the neighborhood, that's very, very disrespectful. He could have come up and said, hey, you guys mind? Or I want to do this, I want to do this. He didn't. He said on the one meeting that the real estate agent told him that he should make that commercial property. Well, I grew up with the real estate agent, and I asked Shelley, and she says, under no circumstances did any of my people ever say that that should be commercial property. Mr. Watt was adamant when he wanted it sold that that was not supposed to be commercial property. You know, so it's just, it's going to be a headache if he puts it in there. Nobody likes them in the subdivision. So why would you throw a log in the fire and do something like this to make the people even resent you even more? Wouldn't it be easier to say, hey, people, I'll give you guys fair market value for your houses plus 20% and get out of here, and he can have the whole subdivision. Everybody's for that. I mean, why do we have to have something in every inch of the town? And then two, how many tile companies have come and gone in St. John? Couple, three. So, you know, it's not feasible, I don't think. Why doesn't he buy the bank? It's empty. He could put his business there. You have your electricity there already, you have your water, you have your sewer, you have everything there. Just go in and remodel it, fix it up a little bit, and you got your business. Then you're not hurting the rest of the subdivision or the residents in that subdivision. Okay?
Thank you.
Kerry put some stuff on there too that was amended.
Yeah, we'll read through it and it'll be part of the record for the hearing. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Ken Kaiser. I live at 10813 Snyder Place. The last time he tried to get this through, I went to the Hanover Township trustee. He had given me a letter to give to the board saying that it wasn't his advice to give permission for him to have it go through because the traffic in that corridor is at max now. So if he puts a building in there commercial, for whatever amount of cars that goes in there is too many. Sometimes it takes us 10 minutes to get from our road to get out onto 231, whether we're going east or west. So all it would do was create more of a traffic hazard, and our road in the subdivision isn't big enough. It isn't rated for all the trucks that he would bring in with the tile and stuff, or for whatever kind of business he comes in. And when the business goes belly up, then it'll sit empty like the bank is on the corner. There's been 2 banks move in there, and there's nobody in there now. Let him go into the bank, remodel it, and he could have his business right there. And he's even that much closer to 41. So I think safety-wise, it's not a good idea for him to have a commercial business in that area. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other members of the public who'd like to come up and speak for or against the request for rezone?
Dale Lenting, 10911 West 108th Avenue. I would like to just address one thing that I heard this evening. And that is, before I purchased the property, there was a 5-acre parcel for sale, and they also had a 2.5-acre parcel for sale approximately at the same time. And the realtor did tell me that this could easily be rezoned. So I went to the town and I asked the town at that point, before I invested the money into the property, which anyone could have done. But I went to the town, asked them, and they said this should easily be able to be rezoned. So I purchased the property. And anyway, here I am now, 7 or 8 years later, just doing what I had purchased the property for in the first place. And the whole idea that the realtor, and that I'm like lying about what, no, the realtor knew that this could easily be rezoned, and she told me that. And I went to the town and verified that before I purchased the property.
Who you talked in the town?
What's that?
Who did you talk to in the town?
At that point, it was the manager or whoever had, I think it was probably Rick.
Who?
Rick Eberly, I believe, and
Did you
whoever
purchase
else
your
was in there
property?
at that point.
When did you purchase your property?
About 8 years ago.
So in 16 or 17?
Mm-hmm.
Rick did not start with the town until 2018, so if
Right,
it would have,
okay.
it probably would have been Steve
So
Kill at
maybe it
that
was,
time.
okay,
And Steve Kill could have said something to you that,
yeah,
okay.
but anyway,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you.
If there's any other questions,
Thank you. All right, any members, other members of the public who'd like to come up, speak for or against, who've not been up already, please feel free to come up. Second call for public comment. Third and final call for public comment. With that, public comment on 2025-19 is now closed. Mr. Reddick, any other comments that you may have?
I have no additional
Okay.
comments.
I mean, at this point, the request is for a rezone from R2 to C2. This plan commission does not have the legal authority to grant that request. Any motion would be for a favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation to the town council, because ultimately the buck stops with them as far as rezone requests.
That's correct.
Similar to the previous petition, the updated rezone findings of fact are in front of the Plan Commission tonight. And just so the Plan Commission is aware, in accordance with Indiana Code 36-74-603, a rezone is to have paid reasonable regard to the comprehensive plan, current conditions, and character of the current structures and uses in each district. The most desirable use for the land in each district is adapted, the conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction, and responsible development and growth. So depending on whatever recommendation is provided, if you are able to answer yes to all 5 of those reasonable regards, it would be a favorable. If there is no to any of them, it would be an unfavorable. And if you feel that they are not meeting any of the findings, it would be a no recommendation.
Thank you.
Have you guys driven up that road yet? Schneider? It's a very, very small road.
Yep.
They're not lying. It says 40 feet there. I don't think it's 40 feet.
Very.
It's a very tight road.
And I get that, and I hear the concerns about traffic and other things through there, but I had made notes when members of the public were coming up. Is that something that we would be addressing at site plan?
It would,
As far as improvements to the road and anything, at
Well-
least for that part of this parcel, correct?
so because the rezone would be separating this 2 zoning districts, because of about a 2-acre parcel, give or take, Doug, correct me if I'm wrong,
2.7 will remain.
would remain a residential R2 zoning district, and then the 4.96, approximately 5 acres, would become a commercial. when it would undergo that primary plat, that subdivision process and that site plan process, that's when we get that traffic study, that traffic analysis, and that's when John Dykstra would be reviewing that.
Input from police and fire.
Input from police and fire on what their thoughts are from a public safety standpoint. I do know that NDOT, when it comes to their highways, is very particular on traffic impact studies and what they want to see for that in order for any road cut to be done along that highway. So there's very specific criteria that NDOT has that triggers that traffic impact study. So all that would be something that would be looked at and reviewed during primary plat and site plan.
And if additional right-of-way was needed for Schneider Place, which I would expect it would, we would dedicate that on the plat at that time. But tonight is just trying to get it to conform with overlay districts, which are commercial.
Anyone else, questions, comments? If not, a chair would entertain a motion. And a motion would need to reference the findings of fact as outlined by Ms. Abernathy.
I'll make a motion for an unfavorable recommendation to the town council with the findings of facts.
Just for record purposes, since you are sending an unfavorable recommendation, could you please identify which ones you feel they are being met by the findings of fact and which ones you feel they are not meeting by findings of fact?
I mean, they could all be a no on almost all of them. I mean,
I agree with that.
Okay, so, Adam, I think I'm going to need to tag legal in on this one. So, if they just say all of them, can they just say that they feel that it does not pay reasonable regard to the comprehensive plan, that it does not pay reasonable regard, or how?
Yeah, so, Ashley, so this, the statute that you're referring to requires the Plan Commission and the Town Council to pay reasonable regard to those items. And so I think, I don't know that it's legally necessary to identify which of the criteria perhaps they feel might be satisfactory or not satisfactory. They certainly may, but I don't think it's legally required because ultimately this is a recommendation, and I think the, the motion for an unfavorable recommendation would simply say, or could include that they've, considered the comprehensive plan. They've considered, what current conditions are in the current, the character of current structures. They've considered the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adapted. The conservation of property values, again, having been considered, or reasonable regard has been given to that criteria. And so I think, in my opinion, I don't think it's necessary for the motion and ultimately the Plan Commission to identify which of the five they feel the applicant has failed to meet. It's, with regard to a zone change, it's different than a subdivision plat application, where those standards have to be very clearly identified if the Plan Commission were to deny an application for subdivision. That is not what we have before the board. This is simply a recommendation, so that's my response.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Just so the record's clear, Mr. Vogel, is your motion still for unfavorable recommendation?
Yes, unfavorable recommendation.
I don't know if you said it, but Mr. Gomstagel, was that a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call, please.
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Ellen Entway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestagel,
Unfavorable.
Yeah, that would be you would make an aye vote for the motion.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Sure.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item 6, old new business, there is none. Item 7A, 2025-20, the Preserve East.
Good
Slager,
evening,
good
Jack
evening.
Slager with Schilling Development, representing the Preserve. We were here before you 2 weeks ago to talk a little bit about the Preserve East, 36-lot R1 subdivision. We did actually receive the preliminary review from Mr. Dykstra this afternoon, so we'll get to work on tweaking some of those things, but we are here tonight to request permission to publish for our public hearing for the primary plat. So, request permission to publish.
Okay. We've talked about it before. It's back to them from an engineering standpoint.
Yes, the plat was reviewed and they got plat comments. The engineering is mostly reviewed, but it was premature to issue those, so I just say that another letter was going to follow probably pretty quickly.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we've got some time. Yep.
Any major issues you would foresee if having them come back in a month?
Not so far, no. No, I read through my surveyor's comments on the plat. There are a lot of the comments, the way he phrased them, this is just how he does it, is he suggests things that maybe it's not clearly a state requirement for surveys, but it makes them cleaner, and so that's often how his comments go for plats. So there were a few corrections that will need to be made on it.
Okay.
And as far as engineering, I didn't notice anything big so far. I do have some comments. Some are just typical conditional comments. Yes.
I don't want the timeline to not work for them to come back next month is all I'm asking. Can that process be completed the next month?
Yeah, that would be my opinion. They could,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, because there's a study session in between as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And we'll probably just plan to see you back for the study session then as well. But as to the request to publish, any questions, comments?
Nope.
Nope. Would entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion for the Preserves East for request to publish.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Mr. Gomstagel. Can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Ellen Entway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestagel,
Aye.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
All right. Request to publish is granted.
Thank you.
7B.
back.
7B, 2025-21, the Preserve West, request to publish for the primary plat, 42-unit, single-family detached subdivision. We can all read it. Go ahead.
Similarly, Jack Slager with Schilling Development. Similarly, we talked about this at the last meeting, and we are looking to expand the original layout of Preserve West to add 10 100-foot lots and 2 acreage lots with the additional 15-acre parcel that we are adding to the PUD. So again, we just received some comments this afternoon. We'll start to review those. Again, minor clerical corrections on the plat and some clarifications on engineering stuff, but nothing that we can't clear up in the next couple weeks. So request permission to advertise for public hearing.
Okay. Same comments?
Yeah, similar plat-type comments, and the engineering comments were primarily additional documentation, which I suspect their engineer does have and will get that to us, so. Yes.
Okay. The town, anything?
Nothing for a request to publish.
Okay.
I will touch base with public safety on both items prior to the study session and see if there's any comments outstanding.
From the panel? No? Now do I entertain a motion to grant the request to publish?
I'll make a motion for the Preserves West request to publish.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Mr. Gomsegel. Can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Paula Entschway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestego,
Aye.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you back at study session.
I'll be back. Thank you.
Item 7C, 2025-23, The Grove. Good evening.
Good evening. Ed Rectwell with Old Toff Homes, here tonight representing the petitioner and the property owner. We're here tonight seeking request permission for advertise for a rezone on approximately 168 acres at the intersection of White Oak and Park Place, known as the Grove community. We are seeking that request from open space to PUD. The current rendition of the project, as reflected up here on the concept plan, shows 275 single-family lots. 175 of those lots are detached and range in sizes from 75 foot to 100 foot by 130 deep. And then there are 50 single-family attached lots or paired cottage lots making up 100 units. Those are 90 by 130 foot deep. There's quite a bit of open space and wetlands on the property, so that does support our PUD request. Approximately 35 acres of wetland, and also a lateral of the Bull Run ditch runs through the property. We also are proposing and continuing to propose commitments on the architectural side, which brings that above the current St. John ordinance. The single-family homes and the paired cottage will all get composite siding on all the units. All the units will also have windows on the garage doors. We also committed to a couple of other things like more masonry levels on some of the single-family units. We've provided windows on certain corner lots within the single-family units, and then also elevation changes or bump outs along single-family lots that are adjacent to White Oak. As we develop the property, we will meet all the St. John development ordinances and standards, technical standards. We realigned the entrance to Park Place, which was a major revision to the project, so now there'll be a four-way, more dedicated intersection there. And then one of the other major commitments that we've made at this point was to add a section of Klein Avenue on the east half, actually constructed, whereas before we were just providing right-of-way. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions, comments, concerns, but we're requesting permission to advertise for a public hearing in mid-November.
Will that section of Klein connect down at 101st?
Eventually. We don't own that property to the south, but eventually it will connect.
So just for the Plan Commission's knowledge and understanding, prior to my starting here, I think in 2023, 2022, somewhere in there, the town did receive a NERC grant funding to do a study and potential expansion of Klein Avenue from 93rd all the way to 101st. A presentation was given to the town council, I want to say June or July last year at their daytime public meeting, and update from our project engineers. So it's on our YouTube if you want to go and watch it. But that is something that is, we do have a
It's on the radar.
grant for.
Gotcha. Questions, comments? There being none, is there a motion to grant the request to publish?
I'll make a motion to grant the request to publish for the Grove.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Vogel, second by Ms. Abernathy. Can we get the roll call, please?
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Paula Entschway,
Aye.
Joe Gomestego,
No.
Russ Vogel,
Aye.
Ashley Abernathy, aye.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Agenda item 8, public comment.
I just have a quick public comment for the Plan Commission. The first draft that I presented of the Unified Development Ordinance to the Plan Commission at our October study session is live and available for viewing to all members of the public on the town website. If you go to the Building and Planning drop-down box on the St. John Town website, it is the very first box that you can click on. So if you know anybody who wants to read it, provide feedback, there is a feedback option. Those feedback option comments come back to me so that I can review them and present them to the Plan Commission as they come in. I would greatly appreciate it. And again, if you guys have any comments, feedback, questions, concerns about that, please email me. That way I can get an updated draft ready for our November study session.
Great. Appreciate it. All right, agenda item 9, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn with a second. All, roll call.
Justin Nestor,
Aye.
Colin Emschway,
Aye.
Joe Gomez-Stengel.